Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. It's yours truly, Trisha Brow Whisperer here for you to walk through my process for a full lid smoky eye. I usually do an outer corner if you do follow me. Outer corner smoky eye is usually my favorite, but I've been loving this full lid. So let's begin. If you know my routine, I'm always going to start with my brows. It's something I can't help, and right here we're going to frame the face properly, and I use the brow pomade. In this case, I wanted to ensure that I didn't lose the base of my brows. Sometimes with a pencil, it fades out when I'm finished with the foundation. So we're just creating that arch, following up with some hair-like strokes in the front and making sure it looks as real as possible because I have so few brow hairs. We're going to sharpen up that tail. Make sure that the arch is sharp as well. And now we're going to carve them out with my matte concealer. You'll notice I never start right at the front of the brow with the same concealer color anymore. So I'll usually come in with a darker tone so that I don't have to worry about blending anything out later on. So I usually start about a third of the way from the front. And this is where I'm going to bring in my regular foundation color to blend out with the concealer. Just saves me having to do more work later, right? So this is a tip that I didn't always know. Now I'm taking my bigger, fluffier brush just to blend it out and make sure that it's a smooth. Now what I'm going to use on my lid is a Danessa Myricks product. The beauty of all her products is they're multi-use. So this one I typically use as a liquid liner on my clients, but I like to use it all over the lid. One being it's a waterproof product, so I don't have to worry about smudging and smearing, which black eyeshadow can do, and a lot of fallout. So this skips having to clean up underneath where there's usually fallout with a powder. I'm using a fluffier brush to just buff out the edges, once again to skip a step. And that way with the cream, before it fully dries, then you have a softer finish on the edge. Now I'm going to go in with my glitter palette. And this glitter palette is beautiful to use because you don't have to worry about glue. I actually have never used glitter glue. And with this one, you just press and lift and press it onto your lid. So that was the darkest black glitter. And then there's one that's a little bit more slate that I put in the inner corner. The same Danessa Myricks product I'm putting underneath the waterline. And I don't typically put a lot on my waterline because I have a heck of a time taking it out the next day. Like I get leftover no matter how much cleaning I do. Raccoon eyes are my friends, and this step helps alleviate that a bit. Now I'm going in with a nicer buffing brush, and this is to just ensure that the edge is soft and seamless between where the eyeshadow ends and under the brow bone. Now I'm priming my skin because we're gonna do that face. I'm gonna focus on different parts of the process so that I'm not giving you too much to digest in each video. So this one, we're focusing on the eyes and the skin. You're gonna see my routine. I mix up the process in how I layer the skin products, and there's really no rhyme or reason. It depends on how I feel. Sometimes I underpaint, sometimes I don't. But I love to start with concealer. So this is the same matte concealer I used under my brows. I'm gonna show you how I blend it all together. With the MAC foundation, this is more of a summer color, and my tone was coming down from that bronzy sun-kissed look that I had when I purchased it. So I had to just be a little bit mindful not to use too much, and it does oxidize a little bit orange. So what I tend to do is make sure I get multiple use out of it. I don't have to do too much contouring or bronzing afterwards. Right here, I'm just dabbing it in the spots where I didn't have any concealer. And this sponge finish, instead of the brush today, is just to make sure it looked like skin. Sometimes I use the brush, sometimes I use the sponge. It depends on how I feel. I just want to highlight a little bit more around the nose, and I hadn't done the forehead fully. And this is me. You're always going to see me highlight pretty much the same part of my nose, the bridge. Sometimes I'll do a straight line and other times I do not. Again, it's just based on feeling. I'm using my fluffy brush again that I used to buff out the primer on my lids. And that's just one of the easiest synthetic brushes that I have that I can trust and ensure it's always going to give me what I need, a smooth finish for my concealer. That's a Real Techniques brush. Now we're gonna go in with the lips. As a colored lady, I always go in with a brown liner, no matter what I'm gonna use. Different tones and shades, but I always start with a brown liner. This is my favorite nude lipstick, Dose of Colors. It's a beautiful matte finish, and we're just gonna make sure that line didn't get completely lost with the lipstick. Check both sides for symmetry. Sharpen up the Cupid's bow. And this is just light. Nothing too heavy because we did already outline as a base. How does that look? Check the other edges. Just a touch of bronzer. Being a baldy, that hairline of mine, it's really not symmetrical. So I have to use the bronzer to kind of close my face off from where my hairline might end. I love a nose contour. I do it several ways, but this is the way I do it if I don't underpaint, and I just use a little bit of either bronzer or a dark pressed powder. And I use this angled brush. Here I've turned it just so I can get a bit of a softer finish and it's not harsh. Every angle counts. But there's so many tips I have to share with you guys. I really appreciate everyone who supported me thus far, and for everybody who has taken upon themselves to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't give you all the tips in one video, right? So there's lots to come. Every week there's going to be a new video. And there's also some surprises coming October 1st. So I hope you stay tuned and follow for more. Don't hesitate to put in the comments if there's something specifically that you want to learn about, or if there's any feedback on what you've seen so far. I can take it, and I truly appreciate it. So here's my highlight game. I'm pretty specific where I place at least the majority of the spots, and I always do the cheekbones, just under the bottom lip, the tip of my nose. The bridge of my nose is a specific area, it's never right between the eyes. And then I also do the inner corner of the eyes, my Cupid's bow. That one I always do. Very, very lightly. And I never start there. I just use what's left on the brush after I've put it on somewhere else. The inner corner, that's one of my signatures. It really helps open up any eye look. We're just gonna get rid of any bit of shine with some translucent setting powder. Actually, this one's not translucent. Just press that in, blow out the face, just so I can get in all the folds and creases. We are a mature lady here, so that's a tip for you. If you have any creases, just fill up your cheeks. Fill them in with the powder. We're finishing off with a pressed powder that's from the Sephora collection. And just bring up a little bit on the blush, because it does get lost with that last dusting. This is also from the Sephora collection. Oh, we need a little bit of contour. Yes, yes, yes. So see, here's a tip for you. At the top of your ear, angling down to the corner of your mouth. But you have to stop where your outer corner of your eye ends. That's where you contour. Let me know how you feel about this look. Would you try it? Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time.